This is a safe place to talk about hard things. I gotta go outside and hold my flaccid cock.
This Oregon thing.
Al-Qaeda?
Have you heard about the Oregon deal?
Vanilla ISIS.
Oh God, I've heard about that about as much as I've heard about the Avery
Yeah,
case.
that's the other
So
thing.
that's how much I want to talk about. But since we brought it up,
No, I'm sorry, Paulie, but
I know it's like then we wouldn't have anything, right?
well, no, I would. I have a few other things, but
I have one too. So
good. Well, let's do yours.
no,
first.
no, no. Let's do the Oregon thing and then
And get it the fuck out of the way.
and get it the
That
fuck
sounds
out
like
of
a
the
good
way.
idea.
Okay, here's my problem. First part of me says, if they were black or Muslim, they would be dead by now.
Yeah, many people have made that point.
And I agree.
Oh,
Would
yeah.
be dead.
The Oregon
All the white
militia,
dudes with guns taking over.
They'd
a
all be
federal
dead?
building.
if they were
If
Muslim,
they were
or
Muslim
black,
or black,
Okay, maybe.
or maybe yellow.
But
or
they,
red.
if they got guns, it might be hard to. And they
and
are.
part of me says, as long as you're a peaceful protest, that's how you redress the government for grievances.
Yeah, they haven't done anything violent.
Well, except for threatening the sheriff if they're told to, if they're removed. I mean, they do have guys. The one guy in a tarp guarding the door with a rifle trained on people,
okay.
which is not technically illegal.
Well,
Well,
it's not
no,
illegal.
it is a threat.
It is a threat.
Is it loaded?
They've
We
already.
don't know yet.
All right then.
because he hasn't shot anybody.
Well, they've already broken the law by being in that building. That's
after hours.
right.
Trespassing.
Trespassing
with
is
the
already
firearm.
one law. With the firearm.
With the firearm,
there you go.
is illegal.
And,
In a federal building.
and to my Republican friends who may or may not be watching,
Fucking right wingers.
Teddy Roosevelt created the national park system. And if you're going to argue about wanting smaller government, then maybe you should start paying extra because you pay, I think it was like $1.25 a head of cattle to
Yeah.
graze on that land
Versus-
and $20 a head versus private land.
Yeah.
So you guys who are there, you're getting cheap grazing on federal land because I'm subsidizing it. Cheaper. Well,
Significantly cheaper.
because I'm subsidizing
Practically
it.
nothing compared to what they pay on private
Well, I'm
land.
just saying, cheap to me is free.
Right, but well, no, free is free. Cheap is almost free.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Free is free 99, free 50,
Free.
free
Yeah.
25.
Free
Free and a quarter.
Yeah.
They've also been getting subsidies for food, for feedstock.
Feedstock. Yep.
So don't bitch about how the government is. No, the government has been keeping your shitty business alive.
My whole thing that I heard started because two guys lit land on fire.
Yep.
Two guys burnt down federal land they were leasing. They burnt the grass. They called the county for permission, but didn't call the federal government. It's federal land, not county land.
Well, I hear you.
Okay,
They went to jail.
but there's one thing I heard that I'm not sure if anybody else heard. I heard it on. I don't remember what news source it was. It could have been TV
Was it
or it
NPR?
could have been NPR. It's the only two I listened to. But they said that they burned the land to cover up poaching.
Yeah, I heard.
Did you hear that too?
Yeah, I heard
Okay.
that. Well, and then I heard two different stories that it was a bunch of deer, and then a different one it was a bunch of elk.
Okay.
Which,
So
same
now
thing,
we've demonstrated
bigger deer,
that these
smaller
people are
deer.
psychopaths per our previous conversation.
I don't know if I'd say that they're psychopaths.
Well, no,
because
they did it without regard for animals. Clearly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because they didn't eat those animals, they then
Right.
lit them on fire to hide it. So,
But they,
Well, I would
they
think
also
it was
went on-
just carcass or something, but
They
I
also
don't know.
went on
They might
record
have.
to
yeah,
say-
I
because
didn't
you got
hear
them
enough
out.
about
Yeah,
that.
I don't know if they ate them, but
yeah.
That they don't.
Yeah, they don't condone the shit in Oregon. Those two that reported for prison, when they walked into prison, said
Oh, yeah.
they shouldn't be doing
Yeah,
that
they're
shit.
not part of that whole thing.
Right, that's just an excuse
yeah,
for these
people
and-
to fucking.
And they were only out while their appeals were going through.
and
yeah,
And they went
back on-
they went to
They went
prison
back on
peacefully.
Monday, didn't they? When
Yeah.
they were supposed to.
and there's two other right-wing militias out in the area who are decrying these people as fringe.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
fringe
Like Fringe, the TV
militia.
No, like fringe militia, like
There's
there's
a fringe.
there's militia out there who are like, these people
These
are
aren't
crazy.
part of us.
Don't
associate.
use those to represent us.
Now they know how Muslims feel.
You mean they're not as crazy as we are? Not as-
Or they're crazier than we are.
Either or.
Well, you know, the militias haven't gotten any real press since what, Ruby Ridge, or what's
Yeah,
the last time they
that
shot? Was it
the-
the last one? That's
That was
been
the
a few
one that
years
everybody
ago.
was bringing up.
So
when this
I'm
one started
saying
coming
this
up.
is a publicity stunt once again.
Well, and they got away with it once before. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, his dad did it. The guy who's leading this time,
Right.
his dad did
Oh,
it.
Cliven.
The sheriff came out to their property for something, and they threatened the sheriff with a rifle, and they just let the sheriff's office left.
Whoop.
Oh, so
Crazy redneck fucks
Hey, it
on the range.
reminds me of that shit in Shawano.
Yeah, the county backed down because the posse was armed heavier than they were.
Yep.
We gotta leave because all we got are like
When-
pistols and shotguns.
When the
Years.
fuck did that
They
happen?
got machine
Years.
guns.
Huh.
There's also
That
It
was-
was actually decades ago.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right.
that would have been like the 70s.
But they're still there.
Oh.
Or the 80s maybe. But I'm
It's like
thinking
Before my time.
It's like a group of people who just don't want to be part of the U.S. government.
Tigerton Dells.
Yep.
It wasn't a real town. It was a bar.
Oh.
At
It's kind of like Fox
Manicheski.
Station.
Yeah.
And they did put him in
Slow.
jail for trying to skip. He bought a tractor, didn't pay taxes on it, and he buried it in the back of the bar. And he got caught. So, tax evasion, I guess, is what they
yeah.
caught him on.
There's another place,
And racketeering. Goddamn monsters.
Yeah.
and I really have to get somebody to come along with me to film this because I really want to try it. But there's also that crazy religious group in Shawano that if you drive past too many times on the highway, on like the public road, they come out and stop your car to find out what you're doing.
Really?
Is this they like own the town or something?
It's out in Shawano. They own a gas station, a hotel, and this
I don't remember the
compound
name
out
of the group,
road.
but I know who you're talking about.
It's
Welcome
not
to
the one.
Wisconsin.
Okay, maybe it's out somewhere else out
Oh.
west, but there's one that owns the town.
Owns stuff, yeah.
Okay.
There's
But
a
that's
whole
not
state,
them. All right.
Utah. Oh, was that all out?
That's pretty good. See, my whole thing is, so there were two fires apparently that they're a part of,
Two separate
which
fires.
makes them serial arsonists. The first one was the one where they were lighting the backfire to stop the other fire that was coming from a thunderstorm or a lightning storm that had started it.
I had heard that they had lit the fires to stop an invasive species of
That
plant.
was the second one where they called it in, but they were actually hiding their poaching, supposedly. I was the invasive species, because that's the one they called in saying, we're gonna burn off this land because of invasive species. And later it's like, no, there's carcasses there. You were doing that to hide that shit. And then part of it was because they were releasing federal land, which made them terrorists, which I don't think should be a thing.
But the
Because
Technically,
they
aren't
weren't,
the people in
they
Oregon
weren't trying to
terrorists
keep.
then?
They
Well,
weren't trying
nowadays
to
they call everybody.
They weren't trying to
terrorists.
instill fear, or what's the other one? Through
Intimidation.
violence. Through violence.
right, it wasn't violence or
It wasn't
intimidation.
violence or intimidation involved in lighting
Arsonists
that
and
fire.
violence.
Oh, it was to the animals and its psychopaths.
And there
Well-
are people who are actually afraid of fire.
Yeah, there
Their
are.
biggest fear is
Frank-
I
Frankenstein?
suppose, but oh, and then somebody brought up the one point that we should be taking out of this is mandatory minimum sentences are stupid.
Right.
Because that's why they're going back to jail.
Because the judge on the original case
Prison.
said
Prison,
the
sorry.
mandatory
Yes, they're different.
the mandatory 3 year or 3 or 5
Yeah.
prison sentence was
Reduced to
ridiculous.
one.
So one was 1 year and one was like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So don't you have to retry them to send them because the judge handed down the sentence, and that's
Well,
supposed to be.
And they
appeal.
also can't be tried for the same
But
crime.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not what happened though.
That's what people were bitching
the
about.
prosecution appealed the original decision.
Oh, okay.
Which you don't hear about happening much, but the Court of Appeals does work both ways.
Yep.
The prosecution appealed the original sentence, saying the
Oh,
judge
and then
didn't have the authority
Oh, to lower the sentence.
to lower the sentence below the
'Cause it's a
mandatory
federal
minimum.
Because it's a federal minimum.
Right. So then the appeals court said, you're right, the judge had to adhere to mandatory minimums,
Okay.
which is why the mandatory minimum, or why they have X amount of time left
Yeah.
on their sentence.
So the news story should be federal mandatory minimums are fucking
Suck.
stupid.
Yep.
That
and
should be
crazy
the
white
story.
people with guns take over. Also, how do you make a hard stand in a place with a fucking gift shop?
Yeah. Take over the gift shop at the bird sanctuary.
Oh, is that what it is? A
That
gift
is-
shop that they're.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it's a big compound. There's a couple buildings.
They effectively
But the-
took over the Green Bay Wildlife Sanctuary.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
basically what
That's
they're
That's
basically
wrong.
what they did.
Yeah, it is.
How am I supposed to go feed my ducks?
No
We
shit.
should do that. Let's go do that.
Go feed some
Tell them
ducks.
we gotta feed the ducks.
You got
Let
a
us in.
22. Let's go take over the Green Bay Wildlife Sanctuary until the federal government does something about crazy people in
Oh, I
Oregon.
thought we were going out to Oregon.
No.
Road
That's
trip.
a really long trip.
Road
That's a
trip.
road trip.
It could be a road trip.
Although we
I
may
gotta
need to
do
road
road
trip to New Hampshire, but I'll talk about that after Polly.
Yeah, I think we're done talking about this.
What? We're done about with Oregon. We barely touched it.
So how do I feel about these guys? Because on one hand, I'm like, okay, they're protesting. On the
I
other
don't
hand-
understand why we just don't walk in there and take it. So they open fire. Isn't
Well,
that-
then
Because-
you wake up. Well,
Because
this-
they're white Christians and that the government can't be seen oppressing them.
Because the government's tired of shooting
That's what it is.
people.
The government's not tired of shooting people.
No, they're not.
They're tired of shooting people. Wasn't it the guy's wife that got shot?
Let's send a black kid in there and
Who
this
was
is
it
Chicago
at
PD.
Ruby Ridge? Who was it
Oh.
that got shot?
Yeah, no, it was a wife, I think 2 kids and 1 dude ended up getting shit. I think it was 4 people.
4
I-
people got
so
shot?
I just
we
read the
can
wiki.
send an entire SEAL
Before-
team in, a heavily armed compound to kill one motherfucker,
In a foreign country without permission.
Yeah, but these are U.S.
but
citizens.
we
and
cannot
they
do
have-
this to a couple fucking yokels in a goddamn
They're
wildlife.
U.S. citizens and they have certain rights.
All we have to do is declare them
Well,
terrorists.
so did the people at Waco.
Are they technically not
That,
terrorists?
that was my
But
They
they
are
fired.
technically
But they
terrorists.
fired
They
first.
true, they did fire first.
Waco was
supposedly.
an entire different story because they shot first.
Well, that's what we're
And-
saying. Let the
and
feds.
feds who shouldn't have been there in the
Yeah.
first place because they didn't know any law was being broken.
Yeah. Let the feds move in. Let them take a shot and then Waco the fuck out of the building.
There you go.
That's what I.
That'll
wanted to
burn
do.
just as good as
Well,
those
I
other
was
ones.
just gonna
would.
say-
But the problem is, it's a federal building. They're not going to destroy their own property.
It's a bird sanctuary, right?
Yeah.
So you
Well,
can
it's a
consider
wildlife
these
sanctuary.
white ranchers an invasive species.
Did you just see the government taking like cats from every humane society, just showing up with a bunch of pet taxis? Once the birds are gone, it's open game, bitches.
If you liked that video, watch our last one.
Then you can turn it off and slide all the dirty dishes toward mom.
Or mom.
Mom always gets the shaft.
It's bad.
Timothy.
Or watch this one.
Make sure
you keep this somewhere.
Yeah, no.
Oh no!
Make sure.
I keep all.
Make sure it goes online that Ben says we should not be afraid of Muslims or
Oh, yeah.
refugees. Because
Yeah.
we shouldn't. We shouldn't be afraid of them.